Good evening and welcome back to Beastly Myths, the show where we uncover the fables, fallacies and fictions of our animal world. It's so good to see you and happy World Alligator Day. Today is a day to celebrate these resilient creatures and raise awareness of their crucial role in wetland ecosystems. To celebrate, we have for you today a croc-spiracy theory. That's right folks, a crocodile lurking in our local UK waters. But a crocodile and an alligator are not the same thing, I hear you say. Now, if in fact you did say that at home, you'd be absolutely correct. Alligators and crocodiles are both a part of the crocodilian species, which contains crocodiles, alligators, gharials, and caimans. They can be easily mistaken for one another, as they all look long, scaly, and terrifying, much like your old Uncle Colin. But you can tell the differences here if you look at their snouts. The alligator has a much thicker, rounder shape compared to the more V-like structure of the crocodile. And, well, the gharial just looks weird. So you would never catch an alligator here, as they live exclusively in China and the US. On that note, you wouldn't normally see any crocodiles living here either, but over in Bristol, a bus driver claimed to have spotted one whilst driving on his usual route on the number 90 bus from Cabot Circus to Philwood Park. Since then, the croc-spiracy theory has only grown, with more people claiming to have spotted the creatively named Bristol crocodile. He has now been a muse for multiple pieces of artwork throughout the city and become a beloved character in books, films, and in the hearts of many a Bristolian. Where would a crocodile have come from, though? We will be revealing this and more throughout the show. Until then, whilst you're watching, we'd love to know what your favourite crocodile fact is, if you think your croc knowledge is up to scratch. Just scan the QR code on screen and start sharing. We'd love to get your thoughts, so anything you can think of, and we'll go through them later in the show. Coming up, we've got expert opinions, public opinions, and deep dives into whether it's possible that the Bristol croc could truly exist, as well as some safety tips for if you ever accidentally encounter it. But first, where and how did this rumour start? To find out, let's head over to our very own Charlie Williams, live in Bedminster. Over to you, Charlie.
Thank you, Connie. So I'm here at the site where the Bristol croc was initially first sighted. So in 2014, bus driver Jolyon Rea was driving across the Bedminster Bridge, as you can see behind me, when he claims to have spotted the crocodile itself. Now, others have accused him of only seeing a log, and to that he says, logs don't wiggle. A completely fair point, because on today, a scorching day, you can imagine looking down and seeing a croc lounging in the mud. They're cold-blooded, so they spend a lot of their time sunbathing before retreating back to the depths of the river. These guys can hold their breaths for about 1 to 2 hours, but Jolyon claims to have seen it swimming across the surface. And since 2014, many others have come forward to say they've seen something like it. The most recent being January of this year. To dive deeper into this subject, we're going back to Harry in the studio.
We've had a brief introduction to the legendary Bristol crocodile, but where did it come from and where did it go? As Charlie mentioned, the story began in February in 2014. A bus driver checked his wing mirror and saw what looked suspiciously like a crocodile. He called the authorities, who conducted an extensive search for the creature, but to no avail. The croc had vanished into thin air. Just 2 days later, Kelly Graceworth from Bishopsworth announced that she had seen the beast by the harbour. This made headlines all across the UK, with more people claiming to have seen the mysterious crocodile for years later. Tamara Blanco, a local shop assistant, was the first to capture it on camera while out on a jog. She saw it by the suspension bridge and claimed that her hair started to stand on end. But like all photos of cryptids, her pictures of the infamous croc were blurry. Much more recently, Jimmy Edge and his colleague Marcus encountered the unexpected guest during their lunch break. Edge shot some footage of the croc, but was too busy getting his own lunch to bother trying to become the crocs. In 2017, police received another report about a crocodile from a Bristol water engineer, and this time they actually found a culprit. But it wasn't a crocodile. It was a 2-foot-long caiman that had been abandoned at a lake. It was rescued by the RSPCA. But have these reptiles actually been abandoned? The bus driver who first sighted the crocodile was later informed by police that they had found the crocodile in local drug dealers' houses. These drug dealers had been releasing these animals when they grew too large for comfort. Unfortunately, this isn't an isolated case. Just earlier this year, a raid of an Australian drug dealer's house revealed multiple exotic animals, including a 1.3-meter-long crocodile. An even more extreme case found Amsterdam drug lords guarding their various heaps of firearms, drugs, and cash with crocodiles. This trend of drug lords owning exotic animals could be attributed to Pablo Escobar in the 1980s. After his death, his hippos escaped into the wild and are now causing widespread ecological damage to the area. This release of wild animals into their non-native environments are very harmful, both to the animals themselves as well as the habitat. If that is truly what happened in Bristol, it's a very serious problem. But do the locals actually think that there's a croc running around on the loose in Bristol? Connie went out and interviewed a bunch of people across the city. Let's find out what they think.
We're here today in Bristol to see what the public think about the Bristol croc. Is it real or not? Let's go. Firstly, have the public heard of the Bristol crocodile?
I have indeed heard of the Bristol crocodile.
I have. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Yeah?
No, not really.
Nah, vaguely.
No. No. How did you hear about it?
I think I might have seen it on Bristol 24/7. Then I saw the hilarious public warning signs around the harbour side.
Where we are in Castle Park, yeah, there's a little statue. But I haven't seen it swimming around, no.
I've seen videos on Instagram.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it with my eyes. But it was fake. There was no way it was real. Definitely AI generated.
Yeah. Now, of course, there's a bit of skepticism as to whether the Bristol croc exists. But do they think a crocodile could live in this river?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Can't say why not.
Maybe, but I cannot see anything living in that river.
I mean, what would it survive on? It's not exactly, it hasn't got big game to hunt.
So is it meant to be a freshwater crocodile then? Right.
Yeah.
Not that water's very fresh, I don't think.
Some are more adamant than others. Do you believe it could live here in this river?
No, I don't really believe it, but I think it's great.
I think so. Yeah, it's pretty. You know that filthy water is pretty damn murky. Anything could be hiding in there. Hundreds of years of industrial waste. It's like some mutant beast by now. So, God knows. Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't. I'm not against the idea that there is one there. Yeah. There's been stranger things in Bristol for sure. Yeah, definitely.
I've definitely told as many people as I can about the fact that we might have our own weird cryptid. If a crocodile is a cryptid, I suppose.
Would you go?
Why they opened it up for swimming? I think that's a mistake by the council. Frankly, pretty vicious. The council should bloody do something about it. It's a terror and it's on the loose. Pretty vicious.
Just a side note, the reports of missing toddlers and rowers are yet to be verified. And please don't go terrorising the council. We're unsure if they can do anything about this. Well, there you have it, folks. Some mixed thoughts and feelings from the public, some crazy stories, and a strongly worded message to the council. But what do you think? Have other people's opinions swayed yours?
Pretty vicious.
If you're still undecided, it's now time to hear from an expert. So back to Sam in the studio with a very special guest.
Wow, some riveting answers from the public there. Connie certainly found some entertaining perspectives. Let us know what you think by scanning a QR code in the corner now. Is the Bristol crocodile real or is it not? So it's time to get serious. I'm here with reptilian and crocodile expert Bronwyn Rand. Bronwyn, thank you for joining us. How are you today?
I'm great. Those are some interesting answers from the general public.
Yes, there's certainly some interesting characters out there. Fantastic. So Bronwyn, can you tell us a little bit about alligators and crocodiles?
Absolutely. So crocodiles and alligators are both members of the order Crocodilia, which means they're actually more closely related to birds than most reptiles. They have existed in some form for over 200 million years, and they're often described as living fossils, although they've continued evolving over time.
I see. I have it here that they are incredibly successful predators, typically found in tropical and subtropical regions of around the world. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, so they're much more intelligent and behaviourally complex than people often realise. They communicate using sounds and body language and show surprisingly sophisticated parental care.
So you clearly know a lot about alligators and crocodiles, but have you heard of the Bristol crocodile?
I have. So the Bristol crocodile is a story that captures people's imagination. Honestly, when I was younger, I was convinced I'd seen it. But looking back, it was almost certainly a log.
Ah, I see. So not so dissimilar to the bus driver who started this all. It's rumoured that the Bristol croc might be an escaped exotic pet. What are the dangers of keeping crocodilians as domestic pets?
So crocodilians are not domesticated animals. They start small and they grow rapidly, and they can become extremely dangerous. They also require really complex care and enclosures to maintain health. Escaped animals also spread disease, disrupt ecosystems, and pose a risk to people.
So with the warm weather that we've been having here in Bristol recently, is it possible that a crocodile could survive in the Avon River?
Well, long-term survival of a crocodilian in the wild in Bristol would be extremely unlikely. These animals need consistently warm temperatures for proper metabolism, digestion, and immune function. A brief summer heat wave would only allow for temporary survival.
Well, that leads me to my final question, the most important one. Do you think the Bristol crocodile is real and really could be living in the Avon River?
Officially, as a scientist, I should probably say there's no strong evidence that a crocodile is living in the Avon. But Bristol is a strange city. If there was anywhere in the UK that a mysterious semi-aquatic reptile to hide and become a local legend, Bristol does feel like a fairly believable place for it.
Wow, well there you have it, folks. The Bristol crocodile is probably not, but could be real. Whether or not it's real or conspiracy, it's certainly caught the attention of the Bristol artistic scene. Harry toured some of Bristol's sites to uncover some impressive artworks across the city. Take it away, Harry.
I'm here at Temple Quarter with The Crocodile by Dorcas Casey. This piece was inspired by the ancient waterways and marshes of Temple Quarter, but also, obviously, the urban legend of the Bristol crocodile. But this sculpture has a surprising twist. This is a mama crocodile with 4 little babies on the side. While Casey has never met the beast herself, she wanted her crocodile to bring people together the same way the Bristol crocodile brought believers together. This crocodile is fully tactile, allowing people to touch the various textures on its body, which were all made in community workshops. I think the Bristol crocodile would be pretty proud of this sculpture. This is the Bristol crocodile back in fashion in a fancy little top hat. This mural is located in Bristol Cabot Circus, painted by Lucas Antics earlier this year. This mural depicts the Bristol crocodile cosplaying as Brunel. Yes, the same Brunel who built the SS Brunel and the Clifton Suspension Bridge. That makes 2 legends in one site. How cool is that? We're on Bristol Bridge by Castle Hill Park, and right by us is the croc in its natural habitat, right above the murky waters of Avon River. This sculpture was installed by anonymous artist getting up to stuff overnight in 2024. The little window that the croc is sunbathing in is actually the remnants of a wine cellar from ages ago. This croc is clearly living the life, isn't he?
Wow, some really, really impressive artworks we've just seen there. Now we're going to go live to our very own Charlie Williams, who's currently in the lab with a very impressive specimen. Charlie, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sam. Yeah, I'm here with Peter, our very own stuffed dwarf crocodile. one of the world's smallest crocs.
Wow, he looks like a charming little fella.
He's very cute, isn't he?
He definitely is. If I'm right, you've got some interesting myths to debunk and facts for us as well.
You're absolutely right. So crocodilians like this guy have a reputation for being kind of scary and dangerous, but do they actually deserve this title? So I'm going to go through some facts about these animals and decide whether we really need to be afraid of them if they show up in our rivers.
Do we need stamps?
First off the bat, are they just overgrown lizards? The answer to that question is a no. As we heard before, these animals are actually closely related to birds. But thank God they didn't evolve wings, right? That would be pretty scary. And although they can't fly, these guys can actually climb pretty well. Look at this dude go. So while you might think of them as sedentary, these guys can actually climb trees up to 4 meters using their strong claws and overall body strength to find the best areas for sunbathing. And while you might also think of them as flesh eaters through and through, some species have actually been recorded to eat fruit. So be as conscious of their fiber day as we are. So no excuses, kids. Also, crocs are naturally afraid of humans, and when encountering us in the wild, they're more likely to flee than become aggressive. Now, this doesn't mean that we shouldn't be cautious around them, but we shouldn't be living in fear either. And there you have it. Likelihood is, if it is real, the Bristol croc might be more afraid of us than we are of it. And perhaps that is why so few have seen it. So earlier in the show, Connie asked you guys to submit your favorite fun facts about crocodiles. And now I get the pleasure of reading them. Okay, first off, crocodiles can't chew their food. That's right. So they use a thing called the death roll to kind of thrash about their prey so that they can consume it easier. They sleep with one eye open. That's pretty scary. You don't want to be around when they're sleeping or if they're awake. What else do we have? Crocodiles can go through around 3,000 teeth in their lifetime. It's a couple more than us. But they also swallow rocks to help grind their food, apparently. That's pretty cool. A lot of tooth answers, as they also employ birds as toothbrushes. I think that would be a bit strange if we did that. But that's pretty cool, right? That's all from me. So now we're going to go back to Sam in the studio.
Thanks for that, Charlie. Lots of myths busted and facts uncovered. Now, if the Bristol crocodile is real, we want you to be safe during a potential encounter. So earlier this week, I put together an instructional video on how to interact with these majestic creatures.
When you're out in Bristol, it's important to stay vigilant and prepared. You never know who or what you might see. Whether that's staying aware of hooligans, drunkards, reform voters, or even the Bristol crocodile, it's important to be ready for anything. Now, encountering the Bristol crocodile is not as bad as those other three. If you think about it, you'd actually be incredibly lucky. You'd be the first person since January this year to see this majestic beast. But what should you do when you see it? Now, to make the most of this incredible honour of seeing this beast in person, we thought we'd put together an educational demonstration of how to handle such an incredible creature. And I'm going to do that with my co-demonstrator, Snappy. Now, unfortunately, the University of Bristol didn't want a major lawsuit on their hands, so we haven't been able to collect a proper crocodile today. Instead, we've got Snappy. Unfortunately, due to construction constraints and shipping costs, Snappy is only a juvenile Australian freshwater crocodile. Snappy is cold-blooded, and I don't mean in temperament, I mean literally. Right now you can see her basking in the sunlight. She does this to conserve energy and maintain her body temperature by warming up. Such a majestic beast. Now, if you're anything like me, this really isn't close enough. let's see if we can inch closer to Snappy. Now, she probably will smell me because of the thousands of chemoreceptors on the end of her snout, which means she can smell a carcass from 4 miles away. Probably should have showered this morning. I've managed to get a little bit closer, but I'm going to have to start being careful of those razor-sharp teeth. Snappy can have up to 66 in that jaw of hers, and she replaces these throughout her life, meaning there's always something to bite with. Better watch out. With a bite force of up to 3,700 psi, any good crocodile wrangler knows it's about maintaining control from the top. That's what she said. Let's have a go. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on this, and you're about to see the perfect wrangle. Here we go. Well, there you have it, a successful wrangle. Now, this really is a precious beast of nature, and you need to be careful around these creatures. That was all a joke. Now for some more serious words about what to do if you encounter the Bristol crocodile. In all seriousness, guys, if you do see the Bristol crocodile in real life, always keep your distance. Try and stay at least 5 meters away, and if it spots you, back away slowly. These creatures are only aggressive if they're startled or they feel threatened. Also, don't run away in a zigzag line. That's an urban myth. Running straight will be your best chance of reaching a safe distance. If you do find yourself in a tussle in the water, punching the eyes and the snout of the creature is the most effective way of deterring its attack. Altogether though, I think you'll be all right.
Thank you so much for that, Sam. Hopefully we'll all be able to stay safe while paddleboarding on the Avon River now. Have you gone out on the water much?
To be honest, I think the water is kind of murky and I'm not too sure if I trust the water quality. But I've seen loads of people out and about this week, some even swimming. Today is a day for raising awareness for the ecological importance of alligators and their wetland habitats.
Of course, their most obvious role is regulating prey populations by chomping down on all those fish, birds and turtles with their huge teeth.
But they also dig gator holes, which are exactly what they sound like. And these holes retain water, maintaining biodiversity during seasonal droughts.
And they travel from land to water, carrying essential nutrients across wetlands. Pretty important creatures if you ask me.
And understandably, crocodiles have similar roles in their ecosystems.
Wow. Well, that's nearly all we have time for today, but we actually earlier asked you whether you guys believe that the Bristol crocodile is real, and we happen to have the results here. How many people do you think believe?
I mean, come on, guys. We've got to believe that it's real, right?
Like, surely not. The expert doesn't agree.
Well, how do you know if you can't see under those depths?
Maybe we should invent some goggles. Right, so the results here. Ready? Drum roll. 100% of you believe that the Bristol crocodile could be real. 100%. That's insane. Did you not listen to Bronwyn earlier?
I don't think they have to. I think they know the truth.
The truth that it really exists?
They do really exist.
Yeah, sure, okay.
I do believe that.
Where's your proof?
Well, there's not no proof. There are photos, there are videos.
You haven't even been to the river, and the photos are blurry.
That doesn't mean they don't exist. Same with Bigfoot. I'm sure Bigfoot exists.
There's no way Bigfoot exists. There's no way. I just think that if it did exist, the police would have found it when they searched for it.
When they searched for it, did they look at the trees?
There's no way there's a huge croc hanging about in the trees.
I don't know. Did you not just listen to my segment? They do climb trees, you know.
Well, that's nearly all we have time for there, folks. Next up for you, we have Baked in Heat. where trees could be the key to staying cool in this record-breaking heat wave. Have you got any plans for the heat wave?
Going out to find the croc, probably. Yeah, go out with Snappy, see if we can find it. I want to be the first one to capture him. Yeah.
To body roll him like Sam?
Maybe not body roll, but, you know, use the same tactics that he did. You know, we've got this.
Perfect. Okay, well, that really is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for tuning in.
See you later, alligator.
In a while, crocodile.